Hi, today we're going to be talking about properties. This is Mrs. Swigart. And let's look at our first property. Which property just moves the parentheses from one side to the other? Well, it is the associative property, and we do say of addition because it's adding. It's like associating at the lunch table. You're just moving from one lunchroom. You're just moving from one seat to another. Okay, here we have another one. And once again, it's just shifting the parentheses one way or the other. So for this time, it's multiplication. So the associative property of multiplication is what this one's called. Okay, our next property, what did they do? Look at it closely. They just turned the numbers around, didn't they? So this one is called the commutative property of addition. Commuters change seats. They move from one place to another. You might commute to a job. It means you're moving from one place to another. Okay, so commutative property. Okay, and what's this one? Well, it's like the other one. It is commutative property of multiplication this time. What about this one? You got it right. It's the same thing, commutative property of multiplication. So remember, associative is like moving from table to table who you're associating with, and commutative is like going from town to town. You're moving where the numbers are actually located. Okay, when you add 0, you get the number you started with, right? Well, that's why this one is called the identity property of addition, because your identity never changes. The number never changes when you add it to 0. Okay, well, 5 times 1, same idea except for its multiplication, isn't it? Now, you add 0, you get the number. You multiply by 1, you get the number. See the difference between the adding and the multiply? So be careful. Okay, here, what would we get? You're right, we get 0. And so this one's the inverse property. Anytime you multiply or you add and you get 0, it's inverse, it's opposite. Okay? Now, there is a rule that if you multiply two even numbers, you'll get an even number. So, for example, 2 times 4 is 8. All three of those numbers are even. And this is called the closure property. Okay? Same thing in addition as well. Now, multiplication, same thing. And odds. So, odd times odd equals odd. So, let's look. 7 times 3 is 21. All three of those are odds. So it does make sense, and that's called the closure property. Okay, now this one's the last property. It's a little different. Notice now we're multiplying 3 times 2, and we're multiplying 3 times 5. And this one's called the distributive property because you're distributing the 3 to each of the terms inside. Well, it's time to work. Hope you've got this down. Good luck on your work. Bye.